So why you left that well-paid job?
Have you heard about narrative warfare?
Tell me which Supreme Court Chief Justice had the longest tenure so far?
So since you're from judicial background, so which Chief Justice is given the landmark judgment for Ram Mandir?
Come in, sir.
Come in.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Have your seat, Sudeep.
Thank you, sir.
Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Your medium of conversation is English?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Introduce yourself.
Good morning, panel. My name is Sudeep Krishna. I come from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. I've done my schooling till class 12th from Kanpur. Then I moved to New Delhi to pursue my degree in law from Jamia Millia Islamia. My hobbies include cricket and debating. After my graduation, I worked as an associate for 3 months, and thereafter I decided to prepare for civil services and CAPF examination.
As an associate, you were paid well. Generally, in law practice, people start with a very modest stipend kind of amount. So why you left that well-paid job?
Sir, the stipend was given to me when I was a college intern, but once I got into the service as a full-time associate, then this was the pay scale. However, my interest was to go for the government examinations, but after my graduation, there was a brief period when I was about to get my law enrollment from the Bar Council. So my senior asked me to just stay back and do some practice, because he believed that having little industry exposure is also important for the education like law. So that was the reason that I did it.
So you are registered at Bar Council?
Yes, sir. Bar Council of Delhi.
So for preparation, do you need to take leave from Bar Council? Do you need to formally intimate them?
No, sir.
You're not required?
Sir, in my knowledge, I was not required to do that. I'm still a member of Bar Council. I can practice. Sometimes I've come to Delhi to assist my team, but more or less I've been there.
So in how many cases you have appeared?
Around 5-6 cases. It was a briefly 3 months period.
5 or 6? The number should be countable.
So the cases were 5. However, there were some cases in which I had to go and take a leave in absence of my senior counsel. So I had to go and ask that please give us a next date or give us a brief period.
So your name was included in the list of advocates?
No, not in that particular case, but all the other 5 cases, the name was there.
Okay. So you are accumulating that experience. So are you not planning to write a judiciary examination?
No, sir.
Why?
Sir, judiciary, while it's a very reputed and nice job, specifically law students, but I wanted to go into a job which has more on-ground experience, greater leadership opportunities, and more field work. So I have my inclination towards civil services and the CAPF examinations.
But tell me which Supreme Court Chief Justice had the longest tenure so far?
Sir, Justice Chandrachud, the father of the recent Justice D.Y. Chandrachud.
Full name?
Sir, I do not remember his initials.
And what was the number of years he served as CJI?
Sir, if I may take a guess with the permission, it was around 7 years.
Close to that. Okay. So now the present CJI has a very short period.
Yes, sir.
How long he'll be there in Chief Justice?
So till this October.
Only?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Has any Chief Justice become President of India?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
Sir, Justice Hidayatullah, he became in the absence of the President and the Vice President. So he became for a short period of time.
So who was the President who was absent, and who was the Vice President who was absent?
Sir, I do not recall their name. The President expired in the tenure, and the Vice President who was there wanted to contest for the post of President.
You don't know the name of the President who expired in office?
Sir,
is it the only President who expired in office?
Yes, sir, he is, but I'm not sure about his name.
Okay, tell me, has any woman led the Indian Army as the Supreme Commander ever?
Sir, I have to look about that.
Okay. Who was the first speaker, woman speaker of the Lok Sabha?
Sir, I have to also look about that.
Who was the first deputy chairperson of Rajya Sabha, woman deputy chairperson?
Sir, I'll read about it.
Okay. How many women judges are there in Supreme Court nowadays?
So Justice Nagratna is one. She is about to become the Chief Justice. And that's the name I'm able to recall at the moment.
Okay, my last question. Who was the first woman to lead any of the CAPF organization? As DG, of course.
So I have to look about
Okay,
that.
fine.
I'm sorry.
Hello, Sudeep.
Hello, sir.
So, you are interested in storytelling?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me how your hobby of storytelling can help with respect to CAPF forces?
So stories are medium to understand and get into the comfort space of any individual. Everybody can have their assessment on a particular story. So if I would be an assistant commandant and I'm there at a place which are having very poor conditions and my morale of my particular company is down, so I can just tell them a story of past, of any previous battle or any religious story.
So, morality.
Morality is confidence building.
Confidence building. Others?
These are the two aspects. Apart from that, we can seek inspiration on the aspects of limitations. For example, if we are outnumbered by our enemy, then there are stories which can tell us about tactical understandings of wartime.
Have you heard about narrative warfare?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what it is?
So it is basically a evolved form of warfare in which particular narratives are set or misinformation are being spread. So basically, if we go back to the history during the time of Subhash Chandra Bose, so there was one minister also who was a minister whose responsibility was to have narratives, and that narratives could be as a proxy.
So, what role does this narrative warfare play in modern warfare?
Sir, many a time it is instrumental in lowering the confidence of the enemy troops. For example, during the 1971 war, so when the deployments were done from the helicopter or from the aeroplanes, so that gave a narrative warfare that Indian army is coming in huge numbers. So that was a smart tactic by our armed forces, and that led to eventual results of the war.
All right. You have been G20 ambassador.
Yes, sir.
In your college?
I was a G20 ambassador. I was felicitated by the G20 secretariat, and I had the responsibilities at college level.
So, which continent has most number of G20 countries?
Sir, it would be, if we count European Union as one union, then that is a different aspect. Then in that case, it would be Asia. And if we take into account all the countries of European Union as well as the other countries, then it would be Europe.
Have you been to SSB?
Yes, sir, one time.
Screen in?
Screened in, conferenced out.
Where was your SSB?
14th SSB Allahabad.
Allahabad. Where do you think was your weakness? Where did you falter?
Sir, I could not do well in the psychology test. I could not complete all the SRTs and all the stories. So I was...
Any particular reason for that?
Sir, I tried to do well in that, but perhaps my writing speed was slow.
Oh, but there are very small answers for that.
Yes, sir, but I missed one, then it had a trickling down effect on others. So that was one reason. That is my assessment. But
so do you think your weakness with respect to psychological test can be a hampering thing when you are a CAPF officer?
Sir, in my assessment, I do not feel that there is any psychological barrier. But yes, I have to work on my writing speed because that calls for efficiency. So I'm working on it.
The only thing is because you have chosen CISF as the first preference and ITBP, one of our toughest borders, as your last. So does that preference or priority should be a cause of concern for us?
Sir, it is a matter of preference that I had to give one in the first and one at the last. I'm readily happy to serve in any of the armed forces. I personally believe that CISF is working on critical infrastructure, and our nation is also heading towards the 4th Industrial Revolution. So I feel that the upcoming challenges and opportunities in CISF would be very valuable, and there will be new dimensions.
All
so
right.
I'm looking forward.
Last question from my side. When was ITBP established?
It's 1962.
And what was the context?
Sir, aftermath of India-China war.
So it was after the 62 war?
No, sir, it was in the meantime of the war, 1962. It was formed, SSB was formed next year as the offset of the same. So it was formed at the time, at the helm of the war.
All right.
Hi.
Hello, ma'am.
So you've given your NDA examinations, right?
No, ma'am, CDS.
But it says here NDA.
I have given NDA, but that was in my SSB.
Okay, all right. So if you had to choose any of the force, armed, naval or military, what force would you have chosen?
So, ma'am, Army.
Reason?
Because Army currently has the maximum number, and the ground level penetration of Army is comparatively higher than the other forces.
Okay. So since you're from judicial background, so which Chief Justice is given the landmark judgment for Ram Mandir?
The Chief Justice back then. I think it was Justice Ranjan Gogoi.
Okay,
Was it?
all right. India has also recently conducted a military exercise in the Siliguri corridor. Can you tell me about the exercise that they've conducted, the names and what the exercise was about?
Ma'am, I'm not able to recall the name at the moment. I have read it, but I'm not able to recall. The specific details was to enhance the capacity building at that critical place of our national landscape because of the geopolitical tensions from the neighboring countries, and it was meant to retaliate prospective future things that can come.
Okay.
And it was a combined effort of all the forces.
Okay, all right. So, you're from the judicial background. I recently had my court marriage. Okay. And it was one of the, I would say, worst experiences of my life. Why is India's judicial like so lacking till now? Why are things aren't clear? There's no clear-cut information. The website says something, and when you go on the ground, it's something else. Why is there so much discrepancy over here?
There are multiple aspects that can be attributed to it. One of it would be that the specific aspect of registration of marriage has a mixture of judicial as well as legislative elements also, because it's basically some administrative works are also done. So sometimes due to the different organs working, there's a lack of communication and coordination that leads to problematic results. Second would be if we see the infrastructure of these institutions, it is something which needs to be get the immediate attention. The third aspect would be that the lawyers are sometimes they are not very easygoing with many of the clients. Clients have the issue, so that is the third aspect. So the solutions could be to harmonize all the problems.
I absolutely agree with your infrastructure point, because when I went, I don't remember I think it was Mehrauli Court. We did not have an inverter. So for like the first day, my job was not done because the computers were not working. So yes, I agree with that point. Okay. Recently, China has also planned something in Bangladesh regarding an air base. Do you know anything about it?
Yes, ma'am. The recent visit of the caretaker government of Bangladesh, Mr. Yunus, he went to China, and there he gave some statements. Some of them was not very well received by India. That was regarding the only guardian of the Bay of Bengal.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how China has planned something on the air bases of Bangladesh. So there's an air base, it's an old air base, World War II time. So China is trying to do something with it. Do you know anything about it? It was in news yesterday. This isn't old news.
Okay, ma'am, if I can make a guess with your permission, China is planning, China has its aim of having India surrounded by all the sides through strategic basis. So perhaps this would be one of the initiative by China to have a secondary presence.
Sudeep, Armed Forces Special Power Act remains in controversy. What are the specific provisions which makes it controversial now?
The first provision is that the powers given to the armed forces are high in nature. They are given the power to arrest somebody without any warrant. Second would be they can detain also for a huge period. The fundamental rights, they seem to be suspended for the time being. So civil liberties of an individual is also restricted. A right to protest and these gatherings also are denied. And the specific permissions have to be taken from the army for any other things. So these are the key aspects.
Okay. Article 13 of the Constitution is very clear that any custom, any convention, any law in force would be void to the extent of its infringement of fundamental rights. Still, it is said that many provisions of Manusmriti are still practiced in society. Do you think that state government or state government should be bold enough to clearly reform this law, which is affecting the Hindu life or Hindu community?
So this aspect needs a very careful scrutiny of the things which are violative of the rights. If we go by the verbatim of Article 25, it states that except of public order, health and morality, then we get the freedom of religion. So if these three aspects are hurted or they are influenced by any religion, So the Supreme Court has the power to have an amending effect on these practices. Otherwise, the cultures have to be respected. That was the initial idea of Baba Saheb Ambedkar when he talked about introducing.
If you read Article 15 and 19 together, that there should be no discrimination on the basis of caste, sex, religion, etc. And 19, there everybody would have freedom of profession. So every Hindu should have freedom of profession of practicing as a priest in a temple, irrespective of his caste identity. Don't you think that the position of priest of all the temples should be open to all the different Hindus?
So this thing should be looked by the lens of religious freedom. Every religion should be given power to regulate their own affairs. As per the constitution, managing the secular features of religion is the part of the government, but managing the core religious activity is not inherently the power of the government. Secondly, the Article 15 does not talks about that there would be no discrimination. The Article 15 believes that the discrimination would not be only on the basis of these aspects. So there has to be a fine balance between secular aspect of the religion and violative aspects of religion. So certain aspects of Manu Smriti, if they are relevant in the present society, can be very well adjusted.
Okay, so the purity is over. You may go now.
Thank you so much.
Have your seat, Sudeep. How do you find your performance today?
So in the first part of my interview, I was a bit nervous and I could not answer the factual questions. Gradually, I acclimatized myself and was a little fine here.
Yeah, it appeared that you became comfortable later on. See, so the analytical faculty of your intellectual attribute is good. Wherever you are invited to analyze a certain issue, you analyze it very logically. With clarity, you expressed it. So that is good. Of course, the factual part, you need to work. And you've got some time, let's say today and tomorrow.
Yes.
So work at least about CAPF organization. Their genesis, their leadership, and because government is giving basically creating awareness in the society and the entire nation about the participation of women in army. So that part of fact you should collect. It's highly likely they'll ask it. Who was the first woman to lead any of the CAPF? SSB was led first by a woman, and then CSF was led last. So those things. And because you are law graduate, they'll also try to understand how important or valuable you can be for any of the CAPF organization. So your understanding of special provisions, scheduled areas, which fundamental rights are suspended, what is martial law, how a Special Power Act is different from martial law provision, kind of thing, and if should we or they can ask you to explain the situation when martial law can be imposed and how many times it has been done in India after independence, kind of thing. So these are the domains where you should be expected to answer questions well in a effective manner. Wherever we could ask the question, you answered it well. Analytical part. The date on which your interview is going to conducted is 21st, which is historical. Do you know why it is historical day?
Yes, sir. It is Anti-Terrorism Day. Former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated.
Yeah. So that you should be aware of. And which anti-terrorist laws have been enacted after independence, and how many laws are enforced today, kind of thing. That can go that way. Because you are coming from Kanpur, and Kanpur is again government is trying to revive Kanpur industrially, and there are so many other institutions also. So be ready with questions on specific Kanpur, etc. And you have wide interest. You have interest in debating, storytelling, teaching. So few questions they can ask from there to test whether you have mentioned these things honestly, or just to create a kind of false impression about your personality. So be ready with maybe the new education policy, because you are having teaching, etc. and debating, etc. also. But in the couple of days, I don't think many areas you will be able to cover. Teaching and storytelling, how storytelling can be a very creative engagement for you and your team. If you are a team leader, how you can motivate your team mates by having a storytelling skill, kind of things. So they can ask these questions. Other dimensions of personality, how courageous, how well dressed, how disciplined you are, your integrity, etc. As per our observation, that's fine. Your entry is good, your dress sense is good, your sitting posture is good. You did try to give misleading answers. We don't remember you made any remark which was not well informed. So you politely accepted several times that you don't know, or you have to read about it. That's a good part of your personality. Remain this way, and even if you don't know 5 questions in a row, 10 questions in a row, don't come under pressure and don't give any factually wrong answer or misleading answer. That will ultimately is counted very positive. Your communication skill is also good, etc. Piece of advice about your presentation is that you should look a little more energetic and having pleasant facial expression. Have kind of smiling gesture. That will be good for you. That will add some extra impression about your personality. That's it. If you have any other question or doubt, you can ask.
Okay, sir, it was YV Chandrachud. I just got
Yeah, you should know
recall.
that.
The moment I entered outside the room, I just recalled it. Sir, if series of questions that are coming and I am not able to answer, so it is.
Remain honest. Keep saying sorry, sir, sorry, sir, sorry, sir. Even if the questions are very obvious and you don't at the moment you don't remember, still, because it happens. It's a mechanism of mind that sometimes mind doesn't work. And there are two different minds, one mind which remembers facts and another mind which develops analytical skills. With the interaction with you, it emerges that you are having a good analytical faculty of mind, and that is more meaningful.
And so in the first part, I was a little anxious and little nervous. So how to deal with that? For example, this was the first mock where I had to face
that requires a philosophical outlook. Until you remain concerned about result, you will have psychological pressure.
Okay.
So get detached from this entire result oriented efforts. So that Gita's teaching, focus on your work, karma, forget about the result. Mahaphaleshu.
Thank you so much.
इसी से हेल्प मिलता है, और कोई नहीं है. जितना सोचिए कि एकदम हो जाना चाहिए, उससे एंजाइटी बढ़ जाती है. ठीक है, ऑल द बेस्ट.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.